For level 15 talents, we got Nature's Guardian, Stormborg Totem, Astral Shift. Now, Stormborg Totem was actually really nice while leveling, and it was actually, I thought it was going to be really good, but seeing that there's so many purges now and everything, and even without the purge, it's still subpar to what Nature's Guardian is. So for level 15 talents, I still like Nature's Guardian, which basically, every time you drop below, 30% health, I'm sorry, you gain 25% of your health, and which also actually stays afterwards. And on top of that, it can happen every 30 seconds, and it can happen while you're stunned or whatever, CC'd or whatever. So Nature's Guardian is amazing, and it's a passive talent, so you don't have to worry about using it. So for level 15 talents, I do recommend Nature's Guardian all the way. Level 30 talents, this can go, like all three talents are really good. The two main talents that most people are going to get are Windwalk Totem or Earthgrab Totem. Now Windwalk Totem is basically a totem that enables freedom for your whole team for the duration of the totem. This talent is amazing for, you're playing double melee, if you're playing just literally anything without a Holy Paladin, honestly. I mean, even if you have a Holy Paladin, it's still nice, but in general, it's a freedom totem, so it's amazing. Like, this is one of the best talents out there for level 30. And the other one, in my personal favorite, this is Earthgrab Totem, which I play with this a lot. I think a lot of people that also play Elemental as well as Enhanced Shamans really appreciate this talent a lot, because you can use this talent to make really clutch plays, which is popping people out of stealth, which I've done numerous times, or just like stopping incoming CC, or just like rooting someone like the healer for a CC or something like that. It's just, this talent can be used in so many great ways, but obviously Windwalk Totem has more uptime. And Frozen Power also can be used in clutch ways, but my personal favorites are Earthgrab and Windwalk Totem. And moving on to level 45 talents. We have Totemic Projection, Totemic Persistence, and Call of Elements. There are only two talents which I honestly think are even worthwhile looking at, because Totemic Persistence is not really that big. Now, Totemic Projection, which this season specifically in World of the Drainer, I think it's amazing, just because of the sheer fact of Cap Totem. And the reason I say is Cap Totem is so huge now, just because we don't need double tremor as much, because priests have their cooldown on their fear is 45 seconds now. So a lot of times when you face priests alone, you're not gonna get double tremor, just because you can prevent the priest from fearing a healer for 15 seconds usually, hopefully. So, but if you're facing a warlock, Call of Elements is still really nice to have double tremor. But that's pretty much all. Like, the main reason Call of Elements is used for. Obviously, it enables you to use double grounding, cap totems, healing streams, you know. But Totemic Projection is really nice for either hiding your totems or sending out Earthgrab Totem or a Cap Totem and just capping. So Totemic Projection, I love this talent, my personal favorite. And level 60 talents, I have played around with all three of them, and honestly, Echo the Elements in the long run is the best ability ever. Basically what it does is your spells and abilities have a chance to cause your next Lala, Storm Strike, or Fire Nova to not incur its cooldown. And this procs all the time, so you literally have no downtime as an Enhanced Shaman anymore. Like, ever. With Echo Elements, especially with the way Enhanced Shamans are now with purging. So, I mean, you literally never have downtime. And Sorcerer Swiftness, it's still decent damage, but honestly, without like not being able to instant hex anymore, I really feel like this talent isn't as to what it used to be. It's because mainly instant hex was mainly the reason why this talent was so good. And then Elemental Mastery is still a really nice burst. Like, if you can stick on your target while you have Elemental Mastery up and it doesn't get purged, it will be more damage while it's up for sure. So if you're just if you're playing a comp where only thing that matters is that tiny little burst window, then Elemental Mastery is still really strong. But other than that, Echo the Elements is my favorite talent to go by. So definitely go with the Echo the Elements. Then level 75 talents. There's two talents that are worthwhile in here, because Conductivity, I was hoping it would be nice, but Healing Range just does not heal enough. So Ancestral Guidance is an awesome talent. Obviously it's not as strong as anymore. Basically what it did was for 10 seconds, 20% of your damage and healing is basically it reacts to heal your injured party members or 3 injured party members. So Ancestral Guidance is really strong, and it used to be really strong because Ascendance was so OP, where it's just that one-shot macro, so it would just top your teammates off. But nonetheless, it's still really strong against bursty teams. Like, when your Ascendance can still do really nice damage, so when you have Ascendance up and you have Ancestral Guidance up, it will still heal for a good 100 to 150k. which is pretty huge considering the fact that I mean, your health pools are going to be, that's like almost half your health pool at, in PvP. So Ancestral Guidance is still really nice, but then you also have Rushing Streams now, which basically allows Rushing Healing Stream to heal 2 people at once for 15% additional healing. Now, I do like Rushing Stream. Rushing Streams will be more overall healing, and I do prefer it in most situations. The only time I get Ancestral Guidance is if I know I'm not going to live through some of the burst damage, or my healer is going to really need those burst heals at that moment. That's the only time I go with Ancestral Guidance. But in that, I love Rushing Streams. The only reason I keep Ancestral Guidance as talented is because that way it stays on my bars. So that way, like, because if I have Rushing Streams, and like, because I can always change it to Rushing Streams, but if I change the Ancestral Guidance from Rushing Streams, I have to re-put it on my action bars, which is really annoying, so I stay with Ancestral Guidance. Now, for level 90 talents, honestly, you can go with all 3 of them. They're all really good. Elemental Blast, this depends. Like, if you're going to be spamming Purge a lot in any of the matches, like just constantly purging and you're never going to get to Lightning Bolt, basically, the Elemental Blast is really good, or you're going to be heal spam. So you can just Elemental Blast whenever it's up, and then that'll be your source of damage with the buff. And then you have Primal Elemental, which is really strong in terms of if you have a really short match, or if someone doesn't kill your Primal Ellies, because Primal Ellie can also be combined with Storm Ellie, which I'll get to later. So in short matches, Fire Ellie is still godly with the Primal Ellie. It still does retarded damage, and obviously Earth Elemental is really nice just in terms of utility. So Primal Elemental is still really nice for short matches, or those like 2-3 minute matches where you know the other team is not going to kill your Elemental. Even like 4 minutes matches, it's still nice as long as they have decent uptime. Unleashed Fury is by far my favorite in terms of overall damage done. It will be the most damage done comparatively to everything else, because basically what it does, it empowers your unleashed elements, increasing your damage done to the target by lightning bolt by 30% for 10 seconds, and increases your multi-strike chance by 5%. But the main key right now is increasing lightning bolt damage by 30%. So you have 5 stacks of Maelstrom, and then you unleash elements. You have this new thing called Improved Maelstrom. Basically, so you get 5 stacks of Maelstrom, your nature damage done is increased by 50%. And on top of that, you have this 30%. So Lightning Bolt is definitely your hardest hitting ability in the game right now as Enhanced Shaman, if used right. So Unleashed Fury can be really powerful in terms of overall damage if you're not having to purge too much or heal too much. But nonetheless, even if I have to, I still like Unleashed Fury a lot. And then for level 100 talents, all 3 of these talents are really good in the sense that they can do damage, like they're all even in sense, but not some of the strongest talents out there. But let me start with Liquid Magma first. This is a really cool talent. I mean, it'll be, in a sense, it actually does the most damage if used on cooldown. The only part is, it will break CC. So if you're playing with like a hunter, a mage, or even a warlock, or anything that where CC is kind of important, where you don't want to break the CC, Liquid Magma might not be your best option. And also, it is spread pressure. Even though single target it's not bad, but it's more spread pressure, so it will be more damage in a sense, but spread out. And then you have Storm Elemental Totem. This isn't the optimal totem for damage. Obviously, it's not going to be more than Fire Ellie, but it does heal and it does do damage, and it's a pretty it will show. So, and especially combining with Primal Ellie, Storm Elemental has some cool effects like knocking people into the air, giving you speed boost and everything. So Storm Elemental Totem is really cool, especially used with Primal Ellie. So I would recommend using that in some like 2s matches, or even in some 3s matches if the situation is right. You play around with it, test it out. It's still really nice damage. And then my personal favorite right now, which I accidentally stumbled upon because when there was Liquid Magma was bugged for like 2 days, is Elemental Fusion. At first I thought this was not going to be good because it says basically every time you Lava Lash, the shock damage is increased by 40%, stacking up to 2 times. So your shocks are going to be 80% stronger, which I was like, you know what, shocks are terrible, they suck. Like, that's because, I mean, that MOP like shocks weren't all that good. But in Warlords of Draenor, your Frost Shock can actually do some nice damage. Like, after it stacks twice, my Frost Shock can crit over 20k, like, easily. So this is a really good talent, and it's basically, I mean, you're gonna have double Lava Lashes constantly, and then either Flame Shock or Lava Lash, or Frost Shock, I'm sorry, or you can spread the Flame Shock, the strong Flame Shock also. So Elemental Fusion is the most damage comparatively to all of these in the long run if you play it right. So, and that's it for all your talents. Now, for the glyphs. My personal 3 favorite glyphs right now are Cap Totem, which combined with Projection is really nice. Basically what it does is reduce Cap Totem by 2 seconds. And then obviously Lightning Shield, where when triggered you take 10% less damage. If you don't, this can be interchangeable with, let's see, where is it? I haven't bought a lot of the glyphs on this tune right now. Reflective Shield, where basically it triggers every 1.5 seconds, which will do more damage, but you take more damage. But I still like Lightning Shield better. It's just taking 10% less damage and most of the times is really nice. And then you have Glyph of Purging. This is my all-time favorite glyph right now. Successfully purging a target now grants a stack of Maelstrom weapon. So because we don't have like the old glyph that basically we had to use was Healing Storm, which when you have 5 stacks of Maelstrom, your healing is double, which is now it's automatically incorporated into your talents. It's a passive ability. So I mean, even if you're kiting someone or you're just like you can't reach someone, you can just spam purge on them and then either use lightning bolts or you can heal someone. It's so nice. So Glyph of Purging, amazing talent. Amazing glyph. I love it. I mean, there are some other glyphs that you can use, like for example, if you're gonna be doing an RBG or something for AOE, Glyph of Fire Nova is gonna be amazing because Fire Nova is your like biggest dealing AOE damage, and it could be incorporated into arenas also. But this is mainly for like RBGs or AOE fights basically. And also if you combine Fire Nova with the Glyph of not Flame Shock, with Lava Spread. And so basically every time you Lava Lash, your Flame Shock, the distance which can spread increases by 8 yards, which is huge. So combining Lava Spread and Fire Nova will result in massive AoE damage. So because in RBGs, surprisingly, I can top damage in RBGs, which I mean doesn't happen too often considering as for Enhanced Shamans, especially with all these boomkins out there and stuff like that. So those 2 talents can make you amazing with that. Another talent, another glyph that's really strong is Frostbrand Weapon. Your offhand weapon attacks also slow the target's movement speed by 50%. So basically what this means, if you can actually touch your target, you're always gonna have that slow up on them, which is really nice. So I mean, if you can interchange any one of these, or let's say you're using Totemic Call of Elements, then you don't need Cap Totem really, so you can replace it with something else. So Frostbrand is one really nice glyph. And then another one is Ghost Wolf. I'm pretty sure most people know this from my past videos, where when you're Ghost Wolf, you just I guess the slow that you're hindered by is much less. So Ghost Wolf's a nice glyph. Another one would be Healing Stream. Basically all nature damage you take is reduced by 10%, which is really good for like, let's say, Frost Mage, or just mages in general, because it's frost and fire, and then boomkins for nature damage. Or I guess another shaman. So Healing Stream is really nice. And then you have Glyph of Hex, which reduces the cooldown of Hex by 10 seconds. So if your team doesn't have anything that DRs with Hex, this might actually be really good if the other team can't dispel Hex. And then, let's see, and then we have the Glyph of Purge, which is surprising. I guess I don't have this on my new Shaman, but I don't use it as much considering that I love purging. What it does is Glyph of Purge, your Purge dispels 1 additional effect off of the opponent, but the cooldown is increased to 6 seconds. And which is actually really nice, because this way you can still keep up your damage uptime and only have to purge every 6 seconds. And it'll take away 2 things, because purging right now is really important. For example, like if you're facing a priest or Restorer Druid, even a shaman, if you take off those bubbles, those hots, those earth shields, it's gonna hurt a lot more than it would if you were actually storm striking or lava lashing. So purging is really key right now. So this is a really good glyph if you use right in the right situation with the right comp. Another talent we have is Glyph of I don't know how to pronounce this, but anyways, this basically what it does is reduces the cooldown of your Feral Spirits by 60 seconds and reduces the duration by 15 seconds. Now, at first, I thought this was going to be a really good talent, especially with our Force 2 set being whenever you have Feral Spirits up, all the CC that is done to you is reduced by 50%, which got nerfed to 25%. But even if it was 50%, it's still not that good, because it reduces the duration of like this. I guess it used to last for 30 seconds, but if you use a glyph, it only lasts for 15 seconds. So regardless, it's not worth. So I don't like that talent anymore. And then you also have the grounding totem glyph, where a reflective grounding totem glyph, which I mean you can use. I'm pretty sure they have. Yeah, it's still there. Okay, yeah, grounding totem glyph. I mean, this can be used in some random situations if you want to play, make some really clutch, fun plays to like reflect grounding. I mean, reflect cyclones or something like that if your team doesn't have it. I mean, but it's not something huge you can use. But that's pretty much it for glyphs in a sense. There is one more glyph that's really new, which can be used really well. It's the glyph of Shamanistic Resolve. Shamanistic Rage reduces damage taken by an additional 30%, but increases its cooldown by 60 seconds. This can be really nice if, like for example, all you have to live through is that one burst like every 2 minutes or something. I mean, it's a huge shield wall. So this could be another talent to go if you're having a hard time living against something or anything in general. Now for minor glyphs, there isn't that much anymore, because like basically the one like minor glyph that I really like is Totemic Encirclement, which when you put down one totem, what it's gonna do is put down 4 totems instead, but the other 3 are just gonna be fake totems, but it just makes it harder for your opponents to kill your totems off, which is really nice. And then you have Glyph of Lava Lash, which basically your Lava Lash does not spread Flame Shock anymore, but right now if you can spread Flame Shock, it's really good, because every time your Flame Shock ticks, you have a chance to proc you have a chance to proc a free Lava Lash. So having this glyph kind of reduces your damage a little bit, but if you're playing with like a hunter or something who doesn't want to use like Glyph of Solace or a mage or something, then Glyph of Lava Lash is definitely a way to go. But other than that, I don't like using it right now because it does reduce your damage by, I mean, I feel like it's a significant amount, because spamming Lava Lash is like, because Lava Lash is your second strongest ability in the game right now after Lightning Bolt, if used right. So, and then Storm Strike. So Lava Lash is really strong. So I mean, getting rid of like a couple of Lava Lashes might affect your damage big time. So, but I mean, this is a glyph that's usable, and the other glyphs are just cosmetic glyphs or just like some minor glyphs that just help you out, and like it's just basically fun stuff. But that's pretty much it for talents and glyphs. And I'll be putting out my add-ons, macros and stuff. Like I'll combine that for Enhanced Elemental, and then I'll be coming out with rotation guides soon and elemental stuff. Hopefully really soon, since I'm finally on break. But hopefully this helps, guys. See you later.